this week's Parsha, we learn about the infamous story about Moshe hitting the rock and the subsequent consequence of him not being able to enter the land of Israel. The general summary of the story was God told Moshe at a time when the Jewish people were thirsting and they were dehydrated for a lack of water. He told Moshe to take his staff and speak to the rock, and as the Torah teaches us, he went ahead and hit the rock, and he was told by God there wasn't a sufficient Kiddush Hashem, sanctification of God's name, and because of that, the consequence would be him not being able to go into the land of Israel. It seems to be a very bizarre story, and indeed many of the commentaries struggle to understand what exactly was Moshe's error in this regard. I would just like to share with you the insight of the Rambam of the Maimonides, and he says it wasn't because Moshe did anything in terms of the rock or hitting as opposed to talking. Rather, Maimonides says it was the way how he addressed the Jewish people. He said to the Jewish people, "Shimu na hamorim," listen here, O rebels. This is the way you talk to people. He referred to his flock as O rebels, and therefore the Maimonides says because he referred to them in a disrespectful way, he was penalized and was not able to go into the land of Israel. And I would like to identify and elaborate on this issue is because what in fact was wrong with Moshe challenging the people and calling them rebels? After all, they were acting rebellious. And I think what really underscores to us the appropriate way to give constructive criticism. Because when someone gives constructive criticism, we should always be careful to identify the action of the person that was involved in the error and not label the person themselves. It's important to say what you were doing was inappropriate or wrong and not say that person is wicked or wrong. Always focus on the action and not the individual. And that's what Moshe erred in according to the Maimonides. He went ahead and referred to the people as rebels. He labeled them as rebels as opposed to saying your actions, the way you're speaking is somewhat rebellious. He went ahead and labeled them. And that was what brought Moshe such a difficult consequence. Folks, we have to be so careful in the way we address people because many times we feel that it is our responsibility to deliver some constructive criticism, and in certain cases that is appropriate. But let us remember the lesson of Moshe, and let us always remember not to label the individual, but rather just to criticize the action. Have a wonderful Shabbos.